Goddard's book here, Powerful Awareness. Go ahead and open it up. It's on page 9, 10, and 11. If you don't have it, completely okay. All right, we're going to start with that first little quote there. All things, when they are admitted, are made manifest by the light. For everything that is made manifest is light. This first paragraph, just before I read it, is pretty complex. Don't get lost in it. Don't feel overwhelmed. We're going to break it down. The light is consciousness. Consciousness is one manifesting in legions of forms or levels of consciousness. There is no one that is not all that is. For consciousness, though expressed in an infinite series of levels, is not divisional. I know it's a lot, so just stick with me. We're gonna break it up, even if you don't understand what's going on. There is no real separation or gap in consciousness. I am cannot be divided. I may conceive myself to be a rich man, a poor man, a beggar man, or a thief, but the center of my being remains the same regardless of the concept I hold of myself. At the center of manifestation, there is only one I am, manifesting in legions of forms or concepts of itself, and I am that I am. All right, pretty deep. Let's go through this. And I encourage you to write everything that I'm about to write down in graphic drawing. At the center of your being is infinite power. It's like we talked about in lesson number 4 of the program. You are a spiritual being living in a physical body with an intellect. Debbie, you had a beautiful post earlier all about that little bracelet that you purchased. And it was talking about remembering who you truly are, remembering who we all are. You're not this body, this thing, this little thing. It's an instrument. You're not this body. You're not your name. I'm not Scott. You're not your results. You're not the wealthy person or the beggar person or the lackful person. You are a completely perfect spiritual being living in this physical body, living in this physical life, living in this physical world with a gifted intellect, a mental thought process, the 6 mental faculties that separate us from the animal kingdom, so far as we know. You're not your results. You're much better than your results. Always remember that. So at the core of your being, what Neville Goddard is talking about is you are spiritually perfect. Now, you can choose which way you're going to go. You can go upwards with that blue arrow, top left-hand corner. And you could say you're a, what does he call it? He says a rich man. Or you could tell yourself every day you're a poor man. Or you could tell yourself every day you're a beggar. Or you could tell yourself every day you're a thief. That power that is at the center of you will manifest by you. It's what you choose. Things aren't happening just because they're happening. They're happening and you're experiencing things because of your chosen concept of yourself. Most people have never chose their concept, so they feel like things are just happening around them. But when you consciously decide on who you want to become and what you want your world to look like, things start to form based on that I am, based on what you affirm as true. Any of those arrows are possible for you. You can become a thief. You can become a success. It's your choice. It's what you affirm every single day, regardless of physical reality. If you have no money, you start affirming that you do have money, things will change. Why? Because it must. Get a different color here. If I assume that I am a successful man, consciousness must follow. That's in the orange. Your power within must follow. It's kind of like a servant, but it's not really a slave to you by any means or anything like that. But it must follow. It can't accept or it can't reject any of the things that says, oh, you don't actually want to be a thief. You don't actually mean that. This is what you mean. Okay. The universe is your spiritual essence. It's all the same. It must accept everything you give to it. Just like we talk about subconscious, it's the same essence. You must assume the feeling of what you say, I am. You must assume what you consent to is true by saying, I am this. The energy must follow. So if you assume that you are a poor man, your consciousness will assume that, and that's why it becomes real. Or if you keep saying you are that same thing, that's why consciousness keeps showing you the results of you being that thing. Hope that makes sense so far. All right. We're going to go through this paragraph one more time, and then we'll take a little break here. This is going to make a lot more sense now that we did that graphically. The light is consciousness. Consciousness is one, manifesting in legions of forms or levels of consciousness. It's levels. It's all one energy. It's just a level of consciousness you're in. There is no one that is not all that is. For consciousness, though expressed in an infinite series of levels, is not divisional. Okay? So it's a range, but there's not levels of things. It's all one energy. There is no real separation or gap in consciousness. It's all one. I am cannot be divided. I may conceive myself to be a rich man, a poor man, a beggar, or a thief, but the center of my being remains the same regardless of the concept I hold of myself. At the center of manifestation, there is only one, I am, manifesting in legions of forms or concepts of itself, and I am that I am. Hopefully that made a lot more sense second time through. Okay? There is no separation. It's always one. That's why whatever life you're living, whatever you're experiencing, is only because you hold the belief subconsciously that you are supposed to be living that life. Not just consciously, subconsciously. It's a feeling. Okay? Whew. All right. Let's take a little break. Does anyone have a question on that? Does it make sense? It's pretty deep. It's a lot to comprehend. But it should start to make a lot more sense on what's going on here. It's all one energy. Whatever you affirm and consent to as true starts to happen because your energy starts to form based on what you affirm is true. Basically, in a nutshell. Okay. All right, says, makes total sense. Wow. Filter says, bang on. Awesome. Debbie says, yes. Matt says, love this. Love it. Let's go second paragraph there. I am is the self-definition of the absolute, the foundation on which everything rests. I am is the first cause substance. I am is the self-definition of God. This is a pretty profound thing we're talking about.